Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. Thanks for joining us today. We love to sip whiskey with our friends, and we love to taste things blind, which is what we're doing here today.
Yep.
Wish we could tell you something about this sample right here, but all we can tell you is it was drawn from our blind sample pool full of a bunch of different pours. It is in a clear sample jar, so we know it's a bourbon or a rye, but that's about all we know. And we're going to taste it blind. We're going to give you some unbiased impressions.
Thank you.
We're going to give you some unbiased impressions of it, let you know what we think about it, tuck that over there, and then we'll give it a rating, just a simple thumbs up, thumbs down rating. Then we'll find out the price and see if that changes how we feel, and then we're going to find out what we're drinking. We do it this way to give you the most honest opinions possible, so cheers to that.
Cheers.
Let's get some first impressions. Doesn't smell like much.
It reminds me of whiskey. Actually, it's pretty sweet, which bourbon.
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, let me backtrack. The sweetness reminds me of bourbon. I don't know if it is a bourbon. I'm just saying it's sweet like a bourbon is sweet.
Yeah, it just tastes like a really sweet rye to me, but
I
could be wrong.
I could see that.
Let's dig into it a little bit more.
Okay.
We wanted to start doing some quick first impressions just to kind of give you it comes across faint on the nose to me still. I'm struggling to get much of anything.
To me, there's a general sweetness. It just comes across as sweet alcohol juice.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little sweetness, there's a little oak, there's a little, sugariness in there.
Yeah.
And there's a little alcohol, ethanol thing in there on the nose.
When I say sweet, I mean like sugar sweet, not like a fruit sweet or a caramel sweet, even though caramel sugar, whatever.
Yeah.
Like a white sugar sweet is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's coming through with, for me, just the basic kind of construct of what you would consider to be like a sweet rye or a sweet high rye bourbon.
What's giving you the rye vibes? Like what in it is kind of tipping you off that it could be a rye?
That was a little bit more on the palate.
But what on the palate?
Just the general feeling of it, the way it hits the back of the palate, it's a little bit more pop roxy,
Okay.
And there's also, for me, there's a little bit of like a mintiness in there, but in the sugary spearmint way, which I really like.
That's a good segue to move on to any more notes about the palate. Maybe that's what I'm getting. It could be like, when you get like the sugar-free spearmint gum, it's sweet, but there is that mintiness there. And that is, I do get that.
Man. So
it's good though. I like it.
I chew a fair bit of Orbit gum.
I
Is
know.
it Orbit?
I buy
Orbit?
it. Orbit. I buy
Orbit
it for
gum.
you at the grocery store.
Remember that commercial they had?
Oh, yeah. Clean a dirty mouth. Orbit. And then,
You lint liquor.
Pickle you kumquat. That was my favorite line.
I like the lint liquor part.
Yeah.
But
you lint liquor.
So I chew the peppermint gum, and
Do I get you peppermint? I thought I get you spearmint.
Peppermint.
Oh.
But when you start chewing it, there's like a juice that's produced that's just really concentrated
with
sweet.
Your saliva and the
but
gum.
it's really coming out of the gum. The whatever sugar freeness is in there is really coming out of the gum.
Xanatol or Dexatol or
whatever it is.
Xylitol.
I don't read labels.
The xylophones.
But yeah, the xylophones come out of it, and then it just you've got this concentrated sugar juice type thing in your mouth. Mm-hmm. That's with peppermint though. This, if you chew Orbit spearmint gum, this tastes like the juice that comes out of the gum.
Mix it with a little bit of alcohol,
Yeah.
and then you got this. Yeah, totally get that. I'm on board.
Yeah, it just generally, so a lot of rye labels are green. Watch this not even be a rye, but a lot of rye labels are green.
That's good.
This tastes like something that is the color of green, but that is also candy.
Yeah. So I have a rating if you're ready.
I'm going to get one more sip. Go ahead and deliver yours.
Okay, so I'm giving it a thumbs up with the caveat that it may be borderline too sweet for me. The more I sip it, the more the sweetness builds upon itself. And for me, that can get a little overpowering because I'm not someone who likes a lot of sweetness. Some people do, some people don't. For me, it's good. I like it. I am thumbs up, but it's borderline just okay. It's borderline too sweet, but I do like it and I did enjoy it.
I do tend to like a bit more of a powerhouse of a pour, but
that's fair.
more and more, I'm getting in the zone where I just want to grab a rocks glass and throw a couple fingers neat in there and just slow sip it over a period of time.
This would be good for
and
that.
This is really falling into that category for what seems like a kind of a mid-proof, kind of around that 100 proof point rye whiskey. Really candy sweet. To Erin's point, I tend to like things that are sweeter than she does. I feel like I didn't say that right. I prefer sweeter things.
You like your whiskey sweet.
I prefer more sweet
than
whiskey.
I do.
And this is definitely falling into that camp. It's not a blow you away type of pour, but it's definitely one I would like to have a bottle of, especially when I want to throw it in a rocks glass and just slow sip it. So thumbs up for me.
I
like it a lot.
Real quick, when you're done.
I was going to say, the more I sip it, the more the flavors start to come together with the oak, and there's like a brown sugar type of element that starts introducing itself in here as well. And it really becomes really cohesive and enjoyable.
So it's a question, because I know what you mean when you say throw it in a rocks glass. You mean throw it in a rocks glass with no rocks.
I said neat. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't hear the neat part. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't ever really sip whiskey on ice. Hardly ever.
Right.
Except for the dead heat of the summer.
You like drinking out of a Glen when you want to smell and really nose a whiskey.
Yeah.
But if you say, I want to throw something in a rocks glass, that's more of like an easy sipping, enjoying, like you're watching the game or grilling out or something. Like you just want to enjoy what you're drinking and not necessarily, dissect it.
Right.
That's kind of what you mean. And I just wanted to clarify that because I know what he means when he says that. Not everyone does.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're both thumbs up.
Yes.
Value-wise, let's find out what we're working with. This is number 67 in our key.
Okay.
And for me, I mean, this hits me like $50, $70 rye. I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad if it's even up to... I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little higher than that, like closer to 100, but that's pushing it. I just know that rye whiskey tends to be more expensive. You're making faces like it's way more than that.
Well, I was tasting it to see if it's worth the $160 that it says.
Yeah.
I don't think it is to me. It's good, but it's not $160 good. I would much rather be if I'm spending that much money, I would much rather be drinking something that's a little more in my like perfect wheelhouse, which is a little more powerful. To your point, I like darker flavors, less sweet. So I'm going to go just okay. I still enjoyed it. I would get a pour of this at a bar, but I do not need a bottle. So just okay.
Now, keep in mind, the thumbs up is on the flavor alone, but for our personal sensibilities, Erin's going down to just okay for value based on her personal preferences. I'm also going down to just okay on value. I really like this a lot. But when I start hitting that $160 mark, I want something to be exactly in my wheelhouse. Yeah. I don't want it to be something I want to throw in a rocks glass and slow sip. I can get that experience for $50 to $70. I don't want to spend that much money. If I'm spending that money, I want to be able to throw it in a Glencairn and really pick it apart and dissect it. And it needs to be 100% of my flavor profile, which is very few rye whiskeys and predominantly like sweet, powerhouse bourbons that have some really unique characteristics about them that keep me interested.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just okay. Still very good whiskey. And if you want something that's a little bit lower on the proof spectrum, maybe.
And it's generally enjoyable.
And very sweet.
I just think, depending on what your budget allows, for us, this is a little high for what it is for our budget.
Yeah. I mean, if I was balling, I'd buy a case of these.
Yeah,
and just,
it's enjoyable.
It would be my daily sipper.
All right, let's find out.
Number 67 is...
Little Book, Chapter 8.
Whoa.
Path Not Taken. This is...
Not low proof.
118.2 proof. It does not taste as such.
No, it drinks like...
Can verify. I thought like 105.
I was thinking 107-ish. Like
sub
110.
And also there's a note here that says, Josh forgot to note who the sample was from. So if you sent us the sample, thank you.
Yeah.
God bless you. Yeah. And I'm sorry Josh didn't note it down, but you know who you are.
Yes, I'm sorry as well. Yeah, this is very, very good whiskey. Little Book continues to impress. There was a little bit of a lull. I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 were very good.
Okay.
Some of the 5 and 6 got a little weird. But then 7 came right back and delivered. 8 delivered, obviously. Here's the consistent thing with us in Little Book. We almost always really enjoy it, but it's not quite... It's just a little off-center. It's not a dead bullseye.
For our profile.
Right. Whatever the ring is that's outside the bullseye, whatever that is. It's not even in that ring. It's the next ring out, which is still a really good whiskey. But for that amount of money, sorry, my tinnitus just went off. And like my right ear's ringing, so I have no clue how loud I'm talking.
You're fine.
Okay.
I got my fingers crossed, by the way.
Okay.
This means I have something to say.
Yeah, sorry. That's every time that happens, it's weird. But yeah, it's just, if it were a bullseye or even the next ring, no problem paying the money for it. As it stands, us being just okay is like, if we see a little book in a bar or something, we're probably almost surely buying a pour.
Yeah,
we just don't know that we need to go out and buy a bottle of it every time. That's where we kind of land.
Okay. Is this a rye?
Yes.
Okay.
It
didn't say on the
notes. If I'm not mistaken, and I'll look it up real quick. They saw it on screen already, but I'll do a very quick search.
Yeah,
just
it didn't
so that
say on our little Google spreadsheet, though.
Yeah, I'll do a quick search and
But you believe it is?
Yes, I believe it is. Little Book 8, breakingbourbon.com is the best place to go for all this stuff. Little Book 8, Chapter 8, Path Not Taken, May 2024 release.
Okay.
And this is a blend of 4 to 18-year-old whiskeys.
Okay.
And every whiskey is a rye whiskey except for the 18-year-old element, which is a bourbon, but it is a high rye bourbon.
Okay.
So
which is what you picked up.
Yeah, if there were a quote-unquote derived mash bill, it would be predominantly rye, but it does have some bourbon in the mix.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, just for kicks, let's see what Breaking Bourbon gave it. I mean, they gave it 4 out of 5 barrels, which is a very high rating for them.
It is good. And I did enjoy it. But for the price, it needs to be in my flavor wheelhouse. Again, a little darker. It needs to feel a little proofier. Even though it is proofy, it needs to feel a little proofier, a little less sweet, a little more concentration of flavors. But if that's not your bag, if you like something that is enjoyable, pretty sweet, easy to drink while still being proofy, like it still has high proof, but it doesn't taste proofy. This might be your wheelhouse, and it might be worth $160 to you. So
yeah, here's the caveat that I'll say. I'm so glad through the course of this video that we talked about how much the rye whiskey and sweetness was on display here. Because if you hate rye whiskey, you will not like this. I don't think. However, if you like rye whiskey, this is definitely one to try in a bar if you see it somewhere. I will say that other than maybe like some of the early batches, like chapter 3 of Little Book, I think I like this better than chapter 7.
Okay.
And I like chapter 7 a lot. Knowing that it's Little Book, knowing the presentation involved, doesn't change my rating or whatever. Just okay is kind of a take it or leave it. Now having tasted it, if I saw it on the shelf, I had the money in the bank account, I actually might splurge on it just to grab it, just because it is a special bottle and I can share it with people and create good experiences with that.
Yeah.
But if it's just for me to sit around and drink by myself, I'm going to probably be a pass, only because there's a lot of single barrels that we pick ourselves, which is a good time to mention if you want to get in on our barrel picks, where we go to distilleries and pick barrels. We've never, one time we've released a barrel that was more than $160 a bottle, but most of the time our bottles are under that by quite a bit. And I think we've picked some rye whiskeys that go toe to toe with this, if not exceed it. And that's where I tend to put my money, is in single barrels that have a little bit, this is very balanced, but I like, a little bit more character.
Yeah.
So check it out over on Patreon if you want to. That's also where you can get plugged into our Discord through our Patreon, which is our online home where our community lives, and it's the best people on planet Earth.
Facts.
So
spitting facts.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about Contagion over on Discord because I know he loves Little Book Chapter 8, and I know he's been wanting this to pop up. So I'm glad it finally did. I really enjoy it. This was a fun one.
It was.
I felt like there was one more point I wanted to make, but I've kind of lost the plot now.
You'll remember it tomorrow.
Oh, I think I was just saying our barrel picks, or barrel picks in general, I gravitate towards those.
Yeah.
However, if you can't taste it before you buy it, or it's not from a trusted palate, you don't know what you're getting. If you're just buying random barrel picks willy-nilly, would not suggest that personally. However, when you're buying something like this, it's a batch product, so every single bottle of Little Book Chapter 8 that you buy is going to be as good as this one, and it's a very quality product. So there is some value in that, even if you do pay a little bit of an elevated price.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. That's it for today, y'all. Be good to each other. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers. Man.
I wish it wasn't so expensive. I understand why it is, but it doesn't mean I have to like it.
I think, so these little books, the more I sip it, the more I like it, even prior to finding out what it was.
Yeah.
But these little books, when they came out.
I'm done with it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to limit my drinking today. We've got a long day of recording ahead of us.
We do. But when these first came out, I think they were $125. You give me, the more I sip this, the more the like oomph comes through.
Yeah.
And you give this to me for $125, like
Yeah.
I might have come close to staying thumbs up.
It's still pretty sweet for me. Even
I
it
know,
like
but that's just right for
I
me,
know
though.
the sweetness just grew, which is good for some people, just not for this person.
It's just like you. Your sweetness just grows day after day, year after year in our marriage.
Why are you laughing maniacally like
What?
you're kidding?
I'm not. No.
I'm very sweet.
You are.
I love you.